Live from the Accra International Conference Center, this is the Joy News channel, and we have a rare opportunity to interact with the Under-Secretary General in charge of peacekeeping, Jean-Pierre Lacroix. He's our guest. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Joy News channel.
Very good to be with you.
How has Ghana been for you so far, you'd say?
So far, so good. We've had an excellent welcome and a wonderful organization, so very, very pleased to be here.
Okay, well, we'll get straight into action. I would want to find out from where you sit, how do you think Ghana has fared in terms of our peacekeeping operations over the period, in terms of what we've contributed amongst others, you'd say?
Ghana is one of the most important supporter. It's a very important troop and police contributing country to peacekeeping. We have approximately 2,700 men and women from Ghana serving in most of the peacekeeping operation that we have, and their service is outstanding, and therefore it's very fitting that we're having the first ministerial level meeting on peacekeeping in Africa in Ghana.
Well, let's talk about collaborations going forward, how the UN is hoping to collaborate more with the local communities amongst others. Where are we with that, and where would you want to be going forward?
I think it's very important to make sure that we engage, and our peacekeepers, the civilian, the military and the police engage very closely with the local communities for one very simple reason. First of all, in crisis settings, they are by definition the most affected component, the men and women and children from the local communities. They're the ones who bear the brunt of the crisis. But in addition to that, you cannot build sustainable peace without engaging with the local community. That's why our peacekeepers are making tremendous efforts to make sure that the communities are on board and they're supportive and understanding of all the efforts that our peacekeepers are making.
It brings me to the issue about hurdles and challenges that the UN faces as we speak. From where you sit, what would it be and what we are hoping to do differently, you'd say?
I think of course, before talking about the challenges, it's very important to talk about the achievements of our peacekeepers, because if it weren't for them, then ceasefires wouldn't be monitored, resumption of hostilities would not be prevented, and we should not forget that every single day our peacekeepers, including the peacekeepers from Ghana, are protecting the lives of hundreds of millions of civilians. But we have challenges. The first one is a political challenge, because we have an international community that is much more divided than it was 10 or 20 years ago. But we're also facing challenges because of the fact that conflicts have changed and the threats are becoming even more daunting to our peacekeepers. Armed groups, new technologies, fake news and disinformation. We need to adapt to all these threats.
Okay, it takes me to the issue about gender inclusivity, because most of the time I am female, so I'm excited to talk about that. Let's talk about the initiatives to enhance more gender inclusivity when it comes to UN peacekeeping.
I think the first thing that needs to be said is Ghana is very much a pioneer in terms of having more women in peacekeeping, including more women at senior ranks in the military and the police. That is very important. And in my interaction with the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I encourage Ghana to continue this effort and also to come up with more female candidates for senior position. When we have more women in peacekeeping, we have a more effective peacekeeping. That's the motto, really. But the role of peacekeeping is not only to increase the number of women in the military, the police, the civilian. It is also to do more to empower women in the countries where peacekeeping operations are deployed, to make sure that women will have a voice in political efforts and peace efforts.
Well, the issue about sexual exploitation, and I must add that there's a woman behind you, so it actually talks about the issue about gender inclusivity. But let's talk about the issue about sexual abuses and exploitation when it comes to UN peacekeeping. I'm sure there are some measures in place to curb that amongst others. You'd like to touch a bit more on that? Indeed.
I mean, what needs to be said is sexual exploitation, abuse by peacekeepers is intolerable. It's only a very small minority, and by doing these unspeakable things, then they cast a stain, they undermine the work of the great majority of our peacekeepers. So we've taken a number of measures And I believe that we're more equipped to prevent and react to cases of sexual exploitation and abuse. We've been taking very robust measures when we are faced with such cases, including repatriating entire contingents and taking other measures so that victim can be better supported. That is very important.
I know how pressed you are, but the issue lastly about partnerships with local communities, the issue about these stakeholders and the organizations, how they complement the work of the UN peacekeeping, you'd say?
Yeah, peacekeeping is about partnership. Peacekeeping is there to support progress towards peace, towards sustainable and durable political solution, but we need partners to do that because the peacekeepers cannot do everything by themselves. First of all, we need to partner with member states, and we need stronger political support from them to political efforts. But we work also with humanitarian agencies, with NGOs, with, of course, the civil society, with regional, sub-regional organizations such as the African Union and ECOWAS. And it's only with the strong partnership that we can succeed. The partnership is absolutely key to the success of peacekeeping.
And finally, maybe the success stories. Of course, we can't talk to you without talking about the success stories of your mission, for instance. What would you say will be the success stories and going forward, certain programs that we're hoping to initiate?
Well, I think the list is very long, first of all, of success stories of countries that have been, that have returned to stability, political stability, with the help of peacekeeping. It ranges from Liberia, Sierra Leone, Côte d'Ivoire, Angola, Mozambique, Namibia, and other countries in other continents, Timor-Leste, Cambodia, and I could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Today it's more difficult to achieve this, this what I call the ultimate success, because our member states are more divided and we have less support for political efforts. But we should not forget the success that are achieved every single day. Again, preserving ceasefire, protecting the lives of hundreds of millions of, hundreds of thousands of civilians, probably millions of them. That is very important, and these are achievements that should absolutely be highlighted.
We are grateful indeed for your time. We thank you so much for making time to be with us on the Joy News channel. I don't know if you've tried any Ghanaian food so far.
I did, absolutely.
Which one did you try?
Even on the ground, actually. I remember this very spicy but delicious soup that I was served in Abiyé, actually, where I visited your contingent there.
Okay.
So indeed, I mean, that's another thing.
We call it pepper soup, I'm sure.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jean-Pierre Lacroix. Thank you for joining us here on the Joy News channel. Another time, we'll get to have that rare opportunity again. That's it for this special edition. We are grateful. I am MF Apau.